Hey there, listeners. I am Joanne Lee Cornish, your truth bomb dropper in the world of weight loss, body composition, and mastering the art of rocking the body you've always deserved and dreamed of in midlife and beyond. Let's cut through the noise. Society tells us it's downhill from now on. We're told to embrace the middle-aged weight gain, embrace the muscle loss and poor health. If that's your vibe, then cool. But if you're ready to defy the narrative, then I am your gal. This podcast is a no fluff podcast where we break down the essential truths of body composition, toss around some practical tips, and dissect the latest trends. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to show you what's not just possible, but downright probable for you. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to click the link in the show notes to explore how we can team up and kick mediocrity to the curb. I offer one-on-one coaching, my ever-popular group coaching programs, and my corporate Educate to Elevate program. Okay, let's get on with the podcast. Enjoy. Can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? This is the resistance, the hesitation I get when people are thinking of joining my Muscle Month program, which is starting in just a few weeks on March the 31st, runs through till April 27th. Guys, quick plug, because I really, truly can probably only run this program once this year. The issue with the Muscle Month program is I spend a lot of time in the gym, in my gym. So I have to find a month out of the year where I'm at home and with access to my gym. And there's not many of the months of the year that happens. So anyway, Muscle Month is starting March the 31st through April 27th. And because of the fact that I need to be at home for the whole month with my gym, it may well be the only time I get to run it this year. I only ran it once last year. Anyway, plug over. The question was, can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? So many people will resist doing hypertrophy muscle building training because they're still trying to lose weight. And they will walk through the weight room and go straight to the cardio room because they just want to lose a little bit more fat before they start building muscle. It's a mistake. It's such a mistake. But let's think about it, because this comes down to the first law of thermodynamics. So you've probably heard plenty of people argue that to achieve muscle growth and fat loss at the same time is physically impossible because of thermodynamics. This is what they would say. They would say, one, to build muscle, you must store energy. To lose fat, you must burn energy, which is correct. They would say, when you are in an energy surplus, your body stores energy. And when you are in a deficit, your body loses energy. No argument there. And they would say, therefore, you must be in an energy surplus to gain muscle and in a deficit to lose fat. And that is where I'm going to disagree. So again, the arguments are, to build muscle, you must store energy. To lose fat, you must burn energy. They would say that to be in an energy, you have to be in an energy surplus to build muscle, and you have to be in a deficit to lose fat. The argument is you must be in an energy surplus to gain muscle, and you must be in a deficit to lose fat. I'm disagreeing with the last point. The first 2 points, they refer to the first law of thermodynamics, which is referring to the movement of energy. It's also called the law of conversion of energy. So this law means that energy cannot just disappear. It has to go somewhere. Building new fat or muscle cells requires energy. And when we break them down, releasing energy, that's how we lose fat. So agreed, and it's worth remembering this, if you're in a surplus, that energy has to go somewhere, guys. You can't be eating too much and then wonder why you gained fat. It has to go somewhere. So that is, yes, it is one of the first laws of thermodynamics. However, again, the third point I'm going to disagree with, and that is that you have to be in an energy surplus to gain muscle and you have to be in a deficit to lose fat. Why am I disagreeing with that? Because muscle and fat tissues are different functional compartments of the body. As a result, Our body directs calories towards muscle and fat independently. So they call this calorie partitioning, and the resulting change in fat and muscle mass are expressed as a P ratio. You don't need to know that. But the body does use other substrates to build muscle, just not just protein. So let's discuss what they are. So your body needs a lot of water to build muscle. Really does. But that's not typical. You just have to drink a lot of water. You need several kinds of protein to build muscle. And here's the thing. You can eat a lot of protein on a fat loss diet. Right? So protein doesn't have the same sort of insulin response. Protein is not converted into fat. My gosh, I just did a whole thing on this in my 21-day program. So if you're trying to lose fat, but you have to have a surplus of protein to build muscle, that's no problem. We can have a lot of protein on a fat loss diet. Not an issue. And then there's the energy. So we need carbohydrates or we need fat. So we need glycogen, which is the stored carbohydrate, or we need triglycerides, which is a storage form of fat. But basically that comes down to energy, because both fat and carbohydrates, these are non-essential nutrients. These can be created by the body itself. If we need a lot of energy for protein synthesis, then we do have that energy available, and it can come in the form of either carbohydrates or fat. So in short, we need to build muscle, protein, water, and energy. Up to us where we get the energy from. We've just said water's not a problem. We just have to drink it. Protein's not a problem. We can eat a surplus of protein on a fat loss diet. And then we have the energy. So where are we going to get the energy from? So we agreed we've got glycogen, carbs, triglycerides, fat. So it's pretty easy. Your body has plenty of energy on it. And it's that energy that if you're trying to lose weight, it's that energy that you're trying to lose that we can use. It's that body fat that you're actually trying to use. We can actually use that as the energy component to build muscle. They say that the average woman has 2 months worth of fat on her body. So we have plenty of fuel there. So as long as the body is getting a sufficient stimulus to build muscle mass, so let's not forget your training program has to be optimized. You can't just be doing some la-di-da mediocre workout in the gym. I mean, I talk about that a lot in the Muscle Month program, guys. The gyms of the world are full of people that never change. In fact, they get worse, decades in, decades out. Oh my gosh, what a waste of time. Doesn't have to be that way. So anyway, there has to be a sufficient training stimuli for muscle growth, muscle building. So that has to be optimized. And we need to optimize that for both muscle growth and fat burning. So what have we got? We've got water, protein, energy. If we're trying to lose weight, we have a lot of energy that we can use. I'm just pausing. I'm just looking at my notes here. There's a study. I was hesitating whether to use this study. This study is awesome. There was a study. It was done on, oh gosh, I'm sorry. Okay. It was a study on overweight police officers. I'm looking for how many police officers, but I can't see it in my notes. I want to say it was 12. But anyway, there was a study that was done on overweight police officers, and they were put on a low-calorie diet, but with a surplus of protein. And they did optimal resistance training for 12 weeks. So to repeat, they were on a low-calorie diet, so they were in a deficit, but they were in a surplus of protein. 12-week resistance program, which is optimized for muscle building. On average, the police officers lost this is over 12 weeks, on average, they lost 9.3 pounds of fat and gained 8.8 pounds of muscle. They lost just over 9 pounds of fat, and they gained almost 9 pounds of muscle. Now, this in the industry we called recomp. recomposition. This is when body weight stays pretty much the same, but body composition changes. It is a real thing. And in the case of these police officers, their weight didn't change very much at all, but they had a tremendous fat loss and muscle gains at the same time. And you can appreciate how visually different they would have looked and how they would have actually been smaller. Because we know fat is bigger than muscle, so they will have weighed approximately the same, but they will be smaller, tighter, more defined, and yet they will have weighed approximately within a pound the same. This is recomp. Now, the people that experience recomp more than any are newbies. These people that are new to the gym, the first year or two of training. This is where their body weight might not change very much, but they gain a tremendous amount of muscle and look completely different. Now, it is true that if we want to maximize muscle building, indeed, we can build more muscle if we create a greater energy surplus. So not just a protein surplus, but a greater energy surplus. So it is true that gaining muscle in a deficit is harder, and it's especially more difficult for an experienced lifter because you don't have the tools of the adaptation of somebody new to training. But with sufficient stimuli and enough protein, you absolutely should expect to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. We can be on a calorie deficit, but with a surplus of protein, and with the right training, we can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. We can gain more muscle if we are in an energy surplus and a protein surplus. But for a lot of people, where we're still trying to get leaner or maintain our fat loss, or lose a little bit more, or lose a lot more, then we're kind of happy with gaining, maybe we're not gaining muscle at quite the clip that we could, but we're still losing fat. And I don't know anybody that has a problem with that. I don't know any of my clients that would have a problem with, like, hey, you're going to gain muscle, but you're going to gain it a little bit slower, but we are going to lose fat at the same time. They're like, sign me up. Point being, you don't have to be in an energy surplus and a protein surplus to gain muscle. You will gain more muscle that way, but you don't have to be in that energy surplus in order to gain any muscle. This makes sense. I mean, this idea that we can't gain muscle and lose fat at the same time simply doesn't ring true, because let's think about it. We absolutely know that we can gain fat and lose muscle at the same time. I mean, we know we can do that. And we know that we can do that when we're in an energy surplus. So we know that the body can gain fat and lose muscle in an energy surplus if protein is low and the training isn't happening or isn't optimized. So when they say, oh, you can't gain muscle because you're in a deficit on a fat loss diet, that's like saying, oh, you're going to gain muscle if you're in an energy surplus. Well, no, you're not. No, you're not at all. You're probably going to lose muscle unless the protein's there, unless the training's there. So why not then for the body to lose fat and gain muscle in a deficit? It's the macros, it's the training, the rest, the recovery. These other protocols just have to be in line for it to happen. It's an age-old argument that you can't gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. I hope that explains that it's simply not true. Most people, with every day that they're getting older, are in an energy surplus and losing muscle and gaining fat. We just need to flip that script a bit and be in an energy, if we want to get leaner and gain muscle, be in an energy deficit, but a protein surplus with the rest, recovery, and the optimized training to gain muscle at the same time. You want to do it. This is what Muscle Month is all about. My Muscle Month is not a bulking program. My problem with bulking programs is, for one, I'm never going to do it, so I'm never going to ask you to do it. I have done it. It is miserable. I actually see there's a lot of teenagers right now. It's kind of cute that they're all bulking. I guess they're following this guy. Oh, yeah, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, this Instagram phenomenon. He seems really cute, but I don't know. So they're all in this bulking phase, and I'm like, that's cute, but you haven't done the cutting phase yet, have you? Because that ain't fun. The bulking phase, real fun until you have to do the cutting phase. The problem with that, the bulking phase, where they're in a protein surplus, they're in an energy surplus, they're training really hard. Indeed, they are gaining muscle, but they do not have the skill to lose that excess fat and hold on to the muscle at the same time. That is a skill, guys. So when they go to cut, for one, they won't be able to do it. 90% of people do not want to do a cutting diet. It is awful and completely unnecessary. But they're going to lose the muscle they build. So you can maximize your muscle potential and gain a bunch of fat, but you better have the skill to lose the fat while maintaining the muscle when you reverse everything. So why not just go a little bit slower? Why not just gain muscle a little bit slower, but lose fat at the same time? Makes sense, right? That is what Muscle Month is all about. Muscle Month is about educating people on the theory of muscle building, of hypertrophy, of reps, rest, the overload principle, body proportions, body type. I mean, I literally just wrote out my topic notes, and it's rather a lot. We're going to talk about the female potential, spot reduction. It's possible, guys. New big aims, muscle memory, mitochondria, muscle fibers, the aging muscle, failures, recovery, supplements. Do I need carbs? How to build meals? All of that stuff. And then we're going to spend a lot of time in the gym. And in the gym, we're going to go through the body parts. There's 9 of them, but there's also 7 movement patterns. How do you build a workout by combining movement patterns with the body part training? How do you do your splits? How do you figure out which muscle groups to pair together? How long for? How much rest? How much recovery? We're going to cover all of that. Muscle Month's a big program, but if you like the information that I just discussed with regards to building muscle while losing fat, then this is the program for you. If this podcast is boring you to tears, then I'm probably not the coach for you, and that's okay too. All I ask is, do not be one of the people in the gyms of the world that never changes. You go in the gym and you see that person that's on the same treadmill and on that same treadmill every single day, and they look worse. They've never changed. Let's not be that person, okay? Anyway, Muscle Month, we start soon. March the 31st, www.musclemonth.com. I would love for you to join. If you're thinking about it, got any questions, let me know. But don't hesitate, because I really don't think this program's coming back this year. I just don't see how I can do it. Okay, let's build muscle and lose fat at the same time. It is absolutely doable. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I trust I sparked your interest, provided a nugget or two of wisdom, and armed you with something practical for immediate use. If you've got burning questions or specific topics that you'd like me to tackle, check out the show notes for ways to reach out. Until next time, stay curious. If you've enjoyed this content, be sure to click the link in the show notes to explore how we can work together. And please go to www.theshrinkshop.com.